So 8 months ago, I released this guide. Wow, has it really been 8 months? Okay. Anyways, well, Melvor has kind of updated since then. So much so that that game is now in quote-unquote full release. It actually just went into full release a couple of days ago, which I actually think is really, really amazing and cool. I'm so glad. We're gonna go check it out. I'm gonna go basically reintroduce the newer mechanics that have been going on. I'm gonna be replaying the entire game on a fresh account because so much has changed. And yeah, let's just get on into what has been added since I made that guide 8 months ago. I'm over on my main account. As you can see, not only has the title changed, but we have a few other skills that have been added that I haven't had a chance to talk about that have gotten added. So let's kind of explore the newer things that have been added to the game, starting off with agility. So what agility is basically it's an obstacle course. You complete an obstacle course, you get coins, you get experience. This is a really good way kind of later in game to make some experience. However, something really amazing that this game has is passive global abilities. This is going to be something that's going to help increase your accuracy, hit points, damage reduction, which is really important in combat, and basically a ton of other. As you can see, there's so much stuff here. And how this mechanic works is basically you start at the very, very beginning and you have obstacles that you pick through and you go, okay, I want to do this one. This course is going to take me 3 seconds to complete. A mastery of 79 on this one. I don't get any global passives. You do that, and then you set up the next one. And the next one does the exact same thing. We have global passives. We have some that have been boosted, some that are not. As you can see, these are costing a lot of money. That's 45,000 coins. That's 45,000 coins and 225 wood. And then this one's just 35. So it also shows you how many times you built it. So this is actually something that's really customizable, and you can actually adjust it for how you want it to be. Like, there's some of these modes that have an enormous amount. Like, look at this. This is insane. Some of these have some really nice modifiers. So this is great. Actually, I kind of want to change this to this, but here's the problem. When you destroy something that is lower end on the tier, so say I decide to change out the balance seesaw, the gap jump, cliff balance, lake swim, boulder trap, and spike jump will all be deleted, and then I will have to redo them. So, kind of keep that in mind. It's one of those things, yeah. They also have things like a passive pillar. These are going to cost an insane amount of resources, but they're going to give you an insane amount of stuff. One even gives you bank spaces, dude. Like, that's absolutely awesome. I love that. So, we do also, of course, have a pet for it. It is Sam. We have our skill cape, and we have synergies for summons, which summons is going to be the next thing we're going to get into. So the next different little additive that they have added in here is summons. So not something I really explored on my main account, but from the stuff I've been reading on it, it is super, super helpful. So how this works is as you are doing different skills, whether it be combat, non-combat, you have the ability to unlock these marks. So what these are is basically we're going to create the Goblin Thief. It gives us extra gold when we're doing enemy hits. So if you're fighting mobs, this is an excellent thing to have. Now in order to craft it, you have to use these shards and you have to have another material. Now you can actually change the crafting recipe a little bit, which is actually kind of nice. So you don't always have to have the same item. So if you bulk made a bunch of daggers because, you know, you were bored, this is something really good to look into. They also have other stuff like Summoning Imp, which you get extra resources, which that's actually kind of good starting out. One thing you can do, you can also, by the way, you can quick buy items now, which, oh, thank you, quality of life has been added. But we could go to like normal logs and we could make these. It shows us how long it takes to make. Really easy. Mole, get extra resources. Wolf, you get life steal. Combat, leprechaun, get extra gold from thieving. Really nice. One of these have to deal with anything. So if you go up here and go to Synergies, basically what this does is you unlock different marks and basically enchants. You can get bonuses when they work together. This is not really something I've explored too much, and Part of it is because I was so far along in the game, I really didn't have a chance to work through some of it. So part of what this is I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to restart a fresh account, trying to get like max everything out, going through each of them step by step. So it will be something that's going to take some time, but something I really want to look forward to. And I really want to get this channel going again. I know a lot of people have asked me to restart, and I kind of really do. So we do also have the Necromancer's hat, which helps with base quality summons. So if you manage to score that, really good. I haven't gotten the pet for this. Again, I haven't really explored this too much. Last but not least is something they've very recently added, like very recently added. We are talking about Astrology. So with Astrology, basically you are able to get bonuses depending on how much you work on something. So we'll go to the tree. Yes, I realize that kind of sounds like tree and dirt. But anyways, so we're going to go to Explore. So as you level this up, you get the ability to basically get modifiers. And what this is you get, example being, I have a 2% chance to yield double items when I'm farming, which farming is one of those things that you can do all the time. Your farming should be your max skill. And looking over at my skills, yes, farming is my max skill. This is something really good because farming you need for herbology, you need for basically everything, because you can get wood, you get food. So it's a really great resource. And as you're going to see, they have these little pixie dust things. So we have the silver and we have the gold one, and those are chances to get stardust. Sorry, stardust, my bad. You have a chance to get stardust every time you're doing it, and you also have a chance to double craft items. So I actually think that's kind of cool that it kind of starts off with that. You can also look at the possible modifiers. So this would kind of be like the max end stuff. I'm guessing it has to deal between 1 and 5. So kind of the unique modifiers. Didn't know that that was a thing. That's actually kind of cool. As you can tell, I'm working on Terria right now, because was wanting to start working on some mining stuff and was needing that because there's also been a ton of other new things added. So this covers most of the skills in the game from what I'm seeing. So definitely something to explore late game, like if you're getting stuck. Say you're stuck with wood cutting, say you're stuck in fishing, say you're stuck even in combat, which if you did not know, combat has changed. Combat now has an offline progression mode. So I can go over here, go to combat, but you now can actually, as you are offline, you now can attack. So if I was to do this and then leave, I will be able to get stuff. Synergies also has to do a really big part here. So I'm actually going to equip another synergy. I think I have a wolf somewhere in my bank. All right, so I now have wolf and I now have leprechaun. So this will actually be good. There's no active synergies between these two, so it's not going to give me too good. But I now can AFK attack. So that means, especially once you've already gotten the looting amulet, you're pretty much golden and ready to go. So the other things to note is there are other dungeons added. There's been other mechanics added in this. I haven't explored that too much. Barely started working on the skills, so unfortunately I can't tell you too much about that. One thing I can note to you, because everyone can see it, is there's now more options in the shop. Example being the loot container stacking. So getting to the fire god and defeating the fire god, and yeah, that's, you need amulet of looting. You need 5 of them, but by that time you should have plenty of them. So there's a bunch of new stuff, including stuff for cooking. They really expanded cooking and fire making and smithing, stuff to make it a lot easier. Example being you can get strong pot, strong furnace, and this is just stuff to help in those areas. So early game makes it go a lot faster, a lot faster. So this is one of the reasons I want to restart the game, because I want to look into these and I want to see how they change the game mechanics, get my percentiles up, things like that. There's a couple of other things that have been added, mostly having to do with summoning. We have the Necromancer suit right here. That would be one of the examples. Of course, we do have all of our lovely skill capes, all billion of them. We also now have different foods. So if you didn't know, we'll go over to cooking here in a minute. They have different recipes now. Cooking has had a big revamp, so I would really want to talk about this and get into it, because cooking, from what I understand, has kind of gotten better. So we have flour, cheese, and cream, which we all know that's milk, but okay. The last thing we're going to talk about is cooking. So you actually have several different things you can cook on. And you also have things like enable perfect cooking. So what we're going to do is we're going to go cook some stuff. Let me find a recipe that I happen to have. I happen to have some shrimp on me. So we're going to go ahead and hit shrimp. So we have passive cook and active cooking. So I'm going to start cooking. See if we can get one of these. We have in the next section, if you have some of these different resources, like tomatoes, tomatoes now has a resource. If you have a bag of flour, you can now make 3 bread. You can make a pizza. You can make a cupcakes. Who doesn't want a cupcake? So there's a bunch of different stuff in here that you can now do. And from what I understand, you can, I think, run all of these at the same time. Potatoes, if you have potatoes. So I did go buy some resources just so we can test it out. So let's go ahead and make some bread. Active cooking is 8 seconds. Oof. So they do also have passive cooking. So what you can do is while you are actively cooking over here, you can start passively cooking. So let's see how long this takes up. And there we go. So it's going to start stockpiling all this shrimp for us while we are cooking our bread. Unfortunately, I don't have any potatoes to do anything with that. But that basically allows you to cook multiple things, which I actually kind of really like. I think this is something we should have had for a while. So basically you can start bulking up on some of these items. I'm trying to see if I can get a perfect cook out of this. It's taking a minute. Alright, finally. So what we have is a perfectly cooked cave fish. So what this is one, it's going to be worth a lot more. As you can see, the value of that is almost 300 gold more. And the health is exponentially greater, which is kind of cool. I really like that they've done this kind of mechanic. And how this comes about is you have to enable perfect cooking. So when you're cooking stuff up, you need to have that turned on so you have a chance to get it. And it'll show you that right there. And if you're wondering where the perfect cook, like percentile comes from, it comes from the mastery unlocks for that specific one. So example being, once you get later on, you want to get those really nice big health items, you're definitely going to need to get it up to mastery level 99. Guys, hopefully this was helpful. If you found the video informative and want to stay up to date on future content, please make sure to smash the like button and do the same thing with the subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. It really helps me out. Really want to get the channel going back again. So I will see y'all again, and we're going to basically do a skill level 99 run. We'll see how this goes. I'm also going to be doing some other idle games, so there's other stuff you want to be doing at the same time as Melvor. Make sure to stick tuned. So, see y'all next time. Bye.